Hi, welcome back. My name is Ngattu, John Mary, and it's a pleasure hosting you again. In this episode, I'm joined by the lovely Judith Nabankema. Judith, how have you been?
I've been good.
Welcome on board.
Thank you.
Tell us, what have you been up to? My friends need to know you.
I've been on doing different consultancy services, majorly mindset, and I've had an opportunity to talk to some children who have mindset challenges, especially when it comes to academics. Because some children have issues with academics when it comes to their mindset.
By the way, Judith, you remember that time you entered primary school?
Mm-hmm.
Can tell you, the experience was very interesting because I breastfed for 4 years and I didn't want to stop.
Wow.
But down the road, I got an opportunity to join primary school. And a few years later, finished primary school by doing primary living examination. You know, there is always that fever at the beginning of the year. You want to know which choices you can fill. When you're joining second. Now, as you draw towards the end of the year, you will come panicking with those UNEB exams, the Uganda National Examination Board exams. Putting myself in the shoes of the children who finished senior 4 recently. At the beginning of the year, they had to fill their A-level or advanced level school choices. And towards the end, that was in November, December, they went through the hassle of now doing the Uganda Certificate of Education exams. My friend, these exams are too many. I don't know what you think, but it's too much. It's too much. But on the other side, I think exams are good.
Yeah.
But there is always a gap. Gap in a sense that, in my opinion, usually there are 3 types of learners. You find that there are those we call visual learners. Visual learners use their eyes a lot. They love practical things.
That one is true, I agree.
You find that a visual learner is very good with practicals. They love those experiments. But when you take them to a theory paper, they struggle.
I understand.
But on the other side, the auditory learners use their sense of hearing. And they love that calm environment. And they are very good with theories. Then there is the other active bit, the kinetic learners who are always thinking outside the class. For them, what amuses them are issues of sports, are issues of talent, music, dance, and drama. So these exams seem to be unfair.
Yeah, actually, when you talk about
or it is generally the school system, I don't know. Is it the curriculum? What do you think?
Actually, when you talk about exams, I think I would prefer they do continuous assessment. They had mentioned it sometime, I think 1 year ago, 2 years, the newspapers.
The new curriculum.
Yeah, that they are going to do continuous assessment. Continuous assessment, that means you're looking at their daily classwork, you're looking at their homework. At the end of the year, maybe of the term, you give them a few questions. But not creating several exams. Everybody's the ears are like this. Exams and you want to examine them from 5 years ago to date. And it's just information that we're giving our children. And this information, maybe somebody didn't even understand the information at that time. But with the continuous assessment, you're able to understand. If this child understands this concept, no, let me go back and help them. It is easier that way than saying we are giving you information and packing you the information at the end of the year. We are going to examine you from S1 to really. Yes, I don't even know that you understood that concept, because remember, we are compiling them with a lot. I think it also it's a result of the curriculum that we are carrying on with.
Yeah, the good news is there is a new curriculum actually. I think the learners who started it are now going to, is it senior 3 or senior 4? It's called the learner involving curriculum, where the learners are meant to do projects and the teacher is no longer the know-it-all figure, but a facilitator. which I think is going to improve these learners because they will be doing more of projects. They're actually doing more of projects. So I think the examination fever is going to reduce so that now every child is able to perform better because they are able to come with projects that they love, that they can do with ease, irrespective of their various talents. So I think the future is very good, and I think our learners will enjoy school a little more. Because as parents, we just need to keep engaging the teachers. Because sometimes you find that the child is struggling because you've put a distance between you and the learner's teacher. But when you keep engaging the teachers, they give you that, in medicine we call it real-time feedback. And you appreciate that actually the child who has been struggling, say in mathematics, is actually improving because the teacher is more engaging. The child used to fear the subject, but now they realize that no, it is possible because there is enough time of the learner interfacing the subject. So it's very good. But also, the schools we take our children to nowadays differ depending on the level of the parent, but also depending on the choice of the child. Me, I believe that when a child, for example, finishes P7, they should be able to choose a school of their choice. Why? You want them to also get a feel of how to make a major decision. Same as senior 4. When a child finishes senior 4, they are torn between, do I branch off to a technical vocational institution? Do I go to a paramedical school? Do I go to an agricultural technical college? Actually, I should go to A level.
They make their own decision.
Yes. So may I believe that school is an opportunity to prepare the learner for the real-time future. Because there is a famous author, Robert Kiyosaki. He says, at school we learn, but on the street we receive education. So that means that these learners are always at school and they are always in a learning mode. At home, they are learning things informally. At school, they are involved because it is a formal environment, which I think helps them prepare for the future.
I can see that. Actually, when we talk about decision making and choosing what to do, maybe from when you're going to A level, when you're done with your S4, my husband told me a story of his friend. His friend was not very good in class, to say so. That is in quotes, by the way, because the performance does not indicate who I am. It's because of certain challenges. Maybe from a mindset point of view, it's the way I see myself, or what I hear from school, what parents are saying. So I started seeing myself as a failure, but indeed I am not a failure. So this child, because according to him, was not performing well, and even the report card could show he's not performing well. So these students, whether that was a guidance of their parents, I cannot tell. But after doing his S4, he did not wait for the result to come back. Whether that was his choice, or the career guidance of the parent, he enrolled in SCCA. But remember, history has it, performance has been terrible. And now the person whose performance has been terrible is engaging in SCCA. You notice it's not an easy course. But immediately remember, and he immediately enrolled certificate 1, certificate 2, certificate 3, all the levels through, till he finished. And that gentleman, I'm telling you, he's doing so well. By the time my husband was getting done with HSC, then university, this guy was already earning. You see, and the future is very bright. And imagine how many parents are involved in the lives of their children. Maybe their children are saying, Mommy, I want to stop here and channel here. The mother is saying to the father, no, I insist. Authoritarian. I insist, go for HSC. In our history, in our background, in our family, we don't do it like that. We do it like this. The child is saying, I can do it. I can. When I pass here, I will do it easily. Why? Because those are practical, environment-related subjects, though they teach them. When you do a certificate, from by the time you go to a diploma or that last stage, you've got on that concept. Because the lower stage is so practical for everybody to be able to get the concepts. And now, maybe that's what that child needed for him to be able to excel. But remember, like you said, there are different learners.
Yeah.
Those that are visual, those that are theoretical, those that are what? Kinetic. I have my friend actually, her child is set for PLA. But this child is so practical. And she had to go to every class, wherever she goes, and tells the teachers, you know what? My child, once she switches off, leave her. She cannot manage being there when you're teaching all the time, theoretical. She will get distracted. But she's bright. Bring a practical subject. She will not sleep. She will not be distractive. Now you see, that kind of a child requires an environment or a project-related subjects for her to be able to excel.
Me, I'm telling you, I'm loving this new curriculum because it's going to improve even the job market.
Yeah.
Because the government has been saying we should have more of job creators than job seekers. And when you bend the child and guide them when they are still young, it helps them improve. But also the issue of exams, you cannot judge the swiftness of the fish on land. Like you mentioned it, every child should be given an opportunity to flourish in their own way. If you put a cheetah on land, they are the fastest animal. If you put the fish in water, they are the fastest animal. So either way, every child has an opportunity to excel. Ours as parents, our work as parents is to work with the learners. You know, it's a triad. The learner in the school, the parent at home, and the teacher as the go between. Because you want to work with the teacher to know how the child is progressing. And you want to make sure that you balance the feedback from the learner and the feedback from the teacher for the betterment of the child themselves.
I can see that. This morning, my child was asking, but mommy, I do swimming, but this career is not paying. I do swim, but the career is not paying. I don't have my daughter. You have not reached that level, but the moment you reach that level, it will be paying. Now you're still growing in your career. Then she asked me, do you know Shirabo Namten, one of our great swimmers? But do you think Shirabo Namten also is being paid? I said, yeah. Should be paid by now because everywhere she goes. And then she asked me, well, when did she start to be bored? Then I told her that story. When you were young, by the age of 8 years, she was swimming this many times, and by the time she has grown to be the best in our country, the age category, just know she has done all the steps there is that required to qualify her to be paid. And she was wondering, my career is not paid. But remember, that is a sport. Now, it takes us back to Chiptegei and the rest. My question is, I don't know how their performance was in class. Did they even go to university or something?
I want to believe that exams matter, but also exams don't matter.
We need both.
How you excel in class does not guarantee how you will survive in real life. It is a stage we go through. It is a season we go through. It's like in business. Sometimes you make it today, sometimes things are tight. Same with exams. The brain which gives the child 97% is the same brain which will bring the child 65%. It doesn't mean that the child is dense. Exactly. There are children who are very good with arts. There are children who are good with sciences. We need to have an optimal engagement.
You say it is engagement.
Yes, where there is continuous engagement with the learner, with the teachers, with the school administration, with the community. Because at the government level, the government is looking at how do we reduce unemployment. How are we as parents prepared to help the government reduce unemployment? what opportunities can we tap into the school curriculum to improve job creation than job seeking?
I like that.
That's the discussion. It's a bit complex, but it is a discussion we can tackle step by step, slowly by slowly. Yes.
Actually, when you say that, you see the same brain that gives 90%, the same brain that gives 65%. And the reason why that happens, it is because this child believes she's good in mathematics, but not good in SST. But the moment she gets that change of attitude, you say attitude is everything. I love mindset, no? Attitude is everything. The moment that child believes now, oh, so it can be done. Because as long as there's a possibility of doing something and not doing something, that means they're both ways. If I'm failing this, there's another way of passing it. If a child can understand that I'm failing this subject because of my attitude, and once that attitude changes, that child is going to be a better person. There is a quote by James William, I love it, that what I've discovered in my generation today is that human beings can alter their lives by changing their attitude. Because our attitude and minds, the only corner of the universe that somebody can change for their lives to be different. Only that corner. Now, if you tap that corner of a child through engagement, like you have said, instead of abusing them, instead of saying you're nothing, why am I spending my fees on this? Why am I doing this? Why are you not like the other best person? Engage them. Find out why are they failing this exam. Maybe to them, that teacher is not bringing it nicely, breaking it down to his understanding. And the moment the teacher now gets to understand, that's why there are different teaching styles. And the moment that teacher captures this child's learning style, everything will be different.
That's for sure. There is a parent who was grumbling on social media when the primary leaving examinations came out, saying he stays a bit very far out of town, and at 5 a.m. every day we take the child to the central business district, overcoming the jam, trying to make sure the child arrives at school in time, paying a lot of money in school fees, and the child got second grade. So the parent was asking, is there a value for money? Well, paying 6 million for a child brings value for money, depending on what you see. Me, I believe that as a parent, what matters is choose a school that can facilitate proper learning of the child. If it is a school within your neighborhood, please utilize that. If it is a school away from home, also utilize it. Like I told you, me, I breastfed for 4 years and 3 months. And the only way I was forced to stop breastfeeding is I would be taken to school in a daycare at 6 a.m. and I would be picked at 8 p.m. Over time, I got to know that it is okay to live without breastfeeding. So the whole idea is, as parents, we need to keep engaging our children. Because the older the child grows, the more we should listen to them. Because when the child is very young, you dictate things. But as they grow, you want them to become self-accountable. At school, the teachers do more of classwork. And the child is supposed to know how to wash their clothes, how to lay their bed, how to live within the dormitory, how to live within the community at school. So those are issues where we say charity begins at home, but does not end there.
I can see.
Yes. So the whole discussion about schools is a discussion on how do we want our children to grow? What do they want? Me, I can tell you, I have 2 boys who joined senior 1, but I had requested them to go to a technical school after P7. Told me, and Dad, no, technical school. But I know of people who have made it, who are millionaires, who are billionaires, having gone to technical schools. So what we need to do is to make sure that we let the learner understand that it is possible to excel in a technical school, it is possible to excel in a formal secondary school. At the end of the day, let the child have a playing field. Archimedes, one of the Greek philosophers, says, "Give me a firm place to stand, and I will move the world."
Oh.
What the learner wants is a leveled ground, a supportive environment. Give it to them, they will show you one.
Yes, because there is potential within each and every one. That's one
Exactly.
of them. What you're saying is true. But you have mentioned something to do with knowing your child where she can thrive from. There's a friend I know, she has 2 girls. These 2 girls were in a same school in primary. But one was excelling and the other was not excelling. And to the teachers, this girl was dumb. That was the statement. But the parents try to discover why my child is failing and her sibling is not excelling. So she made a decision to take her to Word of Life. Have you heard about Word of Life School? International? That curriculum actually for primary is integrated and for secondary it's Cambridge. What I mean by integrated is mixed. The way they teach like international school, but they also have our national concept somewhere embedded in there. The child started excelling with A's and one of the best. But do you know why? The curriculum was different, or the teaching methods were different from where she was studying from. Now, because some parents are not going to follow through that, they'll never know the capacity of their children. Because you're only limited to what you can see. But I think if our teaching methods too can change as a nation, because some parents may not be in position to afford the international system, because the international system gives opportunity to all children and they provide different teaching methods and they do a lot of projects, so hands-on, and there's so many books and notes our children in national curriculum take up. If you looked at my child's book for say history, it's like this. I don't know, even it is not getting done, it is not filled up. But they study every now and then, but they are too practical. They do lots of projects. We talk about a story in Africa, they'll ensure that it comes on board. Maybe they do diagram, they paste to understand that concept. By the time you're going to class or for a so-called exam, you're going to be able to relate because of that. Because we see in pictures, we see human beings, there we are made. We see in pictures. We just remember that picture. There you did it, and the answer will be right there. Why won't you excel? That's why if the government takes this idea of the project, that would be a good deal for all our students. It would be a good deal.
It is the way to go.
Because it's hands-on. And that picture is stuck in the mind of a child. When the question or the assessment comes, the child has no choice but to pass. It just goes into the search engine. Did you say what? China Great Wall? Okay, it looks like this. And we just download everything because we see in pictures. You understand that? Yeah. That's the way we are wired. That's the way God created us. We see in picture, and you can never go wrong. If I say Alex and I mention a certain house, the picture will cross. Will you fail to describe that picture on your paper? No, you know.
Yeah, friends, we agreed. Learning never stops.
Learning never stops.
Every day, every minute, every moment, it's an opportunity to learn something new. It's an opportunity to do knowledge translation. The whole discussion about schools is the whole discussion about exams.
Oh, yeah.
For as long as you are in school, you always do exams. But also life is always giving us exams.
I'm telling you.
The only difference is where the exam is done. So in summary, I believe that let us continue embracing the school administration.
Okay.
Because our children really need to pass their exams. Because at the end of the day, they need to be evaluated for their time in school. Because the only way the teacher knows that the child is advancing through those project assignments, through those tests, through those exams. So exams are good.
Should love that.
For real, exams are good. They help us to improve. They're a form of monitoring and evaluation system.
Oh, yeah. I think I agree with you. What I can say on top of what you've said is that as parents, let's get involved in our children's school performance. Me personally, I was not so much involved. I love my personal work. It comes to studying my personal work. I love studying my personal work. When it comes to getting involved in my children's school, that was not my thing. I've learned this from my husband, like you said, learning never stops. I have learned this from my husband, and every now and then he could get involved and tell me, please get involved. It is very, very important because these children need both our support. And if we support them as parents, then they know it is important. But if you don't support them or not get involved, maybe they think it's not really worth it. Maybe it's just passing time. And also, if your child tends to perform not nicely, please don't abuse them. By you abusing them, brother, you're making it worse. Because there we are created, the words you say to the children, the words you continue telling them, especially from an authoritative point of view, becomes part of their lives. Because if mommy said this, then it is true. This is my mother. I think I am. It is my mother who said it. It is my father who said it. And the moment they will hear that I am telling you, they will never, whatever subject you're discussing, they will never get to it. Because it will be truth to them. And some that is truth to you is like disempowers you. You can no longer even have power over it. You have surrendered. That is who you are. But you're not that. Your child is not down. It's just that the way he sees himself or herself, especially towards the subjects or towards everything. But if you can sit down with that child and engage them, realize that for them, they have a certain perception of their lives, of themselves, concerning education, concerning the teacher, concerning the subject. And if the child cannot receive the teacher, there's no way the child will receive the understanding from this teacher. It is impossible. Because first of all, he has rejected the teacher, so he cannot accept the information from the teacher. So I think it is very important for us parents to get involved in the lives and education of our children. I am still learning in that area, and I'm almost there because I'm learning from my partner. That is very important. Please also, parents, I think you can copy a little from that.